A tough gang leader discovers a nun hiding in his bar, and her secret threatens to unravel his world and change his life forever. The bar was dimly lit, but the air was thick with tension. Luca, the gang leader, leaned against the polished mahogany counter. His black suit hugged his broad shoulders. He took a sip from his whiskey, eyes scanning the room. No one dared to disturb him. They all knew he ran this place, and they respected that. Then she walked in, a woman in a simple black dress. She looked out of place, like a dove among crows. Her hair was pulled back and her eyes darted around nervously. She was clearly out of her comfort zone. Luca raised an eyebrow. He had seen many faces, but hers was different. There was something about the way she held herself, defiant yet vulnerable. "What do you want, sister?" he asked, his voice low and steady. The room went silent. Everyone turned to watch. The woman took a deep breath. "I'm not here for trouble," she said, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. "I need help." Luca leaned in closer, intrigued. "Help? You must be lost." His lips curled into a smirk. "This isn't a place for holy sisters." She straightened her back, refusing to back down. "I'm not afraid of you." Her courage surprised him. Most people cowered in his presence. "I need to find someone who can protect me." The tension in the air shifted. Luca could see her eyes pleading for something more than just safety. "And why should I care?" he shot back, but a part of him was already interested. "You have no idea who I am." She took a step forward, her voice rising. "I have a secret that could change everything." For a moment they stared at each other. The challenge hung in the air. Luca's curiosity was piqued. "What kind of secret?" he asked, leaning back, arms crossing his chest. "The kind that could ruin you," she replied, a hint of a smile playing on her lips. In that instant he felt a shift. The balance of power was changing. It wasn't just about fear anymore. It was about something deeper, something he didn't expect. The next hit was closer than they knew. Luca raised an eyebrow. "You think your secret can ruin me?" He leaned back, crossing his arms. The bar was buzzing with whispers. "What's so special about it?" She took a breath. "I know about the shipment. The one you're expecting next week." Luca's eyes narrowed. "You're bluffing." He kept his voice low, careful with each word. "Say it straight," he said. "No games." A small silence cut the tension. He kept his voice low, careful with each word. "Say it straight," he said. "No games." A small silence cut the tension. "No, I'm not." Her voice was steady. "I overheard your men talking. They trust me because I'm a nun. They don't see me coming." She answered fast, then fell quiet. "I'm not afraid," she replied. "Not tonight." He chose the next words with care. She answered fast, then fell quiet. "I'm not afraid," she replied. "Not tonight." He chose the next words with care. Luca chuckled darkly. "So, you want protection in exchange for that information? You think I'd risk everything for a little secret?" He moved first, not giving anyone time to think. He checked the room and kept his back to the wall. She shook her head and took a step closer. He moved first, not giving anyone time to think. He checked the room and kept his back to the wall. She shook her head and took a step closer. "I'm not just asking for protection. I need a deal. You help me, I help you." She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "We can make this work." She stood her ground, eyes steady. She watched his hands, not his smile. They held eye contact, neither blinked. She stood her ground, eyes steady. She watched his hands, not his smile. Luca's heart raced. He had never been in a situation like this. With her, she was dangerous in a way he hadn't expected. "What's your angle, sister?" he asked, eyeing her suspiciously. "What do you really want?" Someone was listening in the dark. Luca stepped closer, his voice low and gritty. "You really think you can outsmart me, sister? You think you know this world?" He measured her response. She didn't flinch. "I know enough to understand danger," she said, her eyes fierce. "And I know you're that danger." He smirked, enjoying the game. "Dangerous or just misunderstood?" He leaned in, invading her space. She held her ground, refusing to back down. "I'm not here to play games, Luca. I'm here because I need your help," she said firmly. The tension crackled between them. He kept his voice low, careful with each word. "Say it straight," he said. "No games." A small silence cut the tension. Luca chuckled, but there was no humor in it. "Help! What do you bring to the table?" A few whispers. Her expression hardened. "I bring knowledge. I can help you protect your shipment. You need someone on the inside." She paused, watching him. "You can't trust just anyone." She answered fast, then fell quiet. "I'm not afraid," she replied. "Not tonight." He chose the next words with care. He stepped back slightly, folding his arms. "And you expect me to trust you? A nun? What's in it for me?" He loosened up, pretending to consider her offer. But behind his bravado, he was intrigued. "You think you can handle this world? You have no idea what it takes." He moved first, not giving anyone time to think. He checked the room and kept his back to the wall. "I might not know everything, but I know how to survive," she said, her voice steady. "And I'm not afraid of you. I'd rather face you than your enemies." Her words cut through his arrogance. He felt a flicker of respect. "You have guts, I'll give you that, but guts won't save you here." She stood her ground, eyes steady. She watched his hands, not his smile. "Then let's figure it out together," she replied, her tone challenging. "I've walked through fire for what I believe in. You think I'm scared of a little danger?" Luca was taken aback. He didn't expect her to push back like this. "Fine. You want a deal? Show me you can handle it," he said, a hint of a smile creeping onto his lips. As they locked eyes, the moment stretched, the air thick with tension. Was this the beginning of something explosive, or would it lead to her downfall? Luca leaned back against the bar, arms crossed tightly. "All right, sister. If we're doing this, we need rules." He glanced around, ensuring no one was too close. She nodded, her expression serious. "I'm listening." He studied her for a moment, trying to gauge her strength. "First, no one can know about this deal, not even your church." Her brow furrowed. "I understand. My silence is part of the deal." Luca nodded, relieved. "Second, you don't go poking around in my business. Information is one thing, but getting involved is another. Got it?" She straightened, her gaze steady. "I can handle myself. You won't regret this." Luca stepped closer, lowering his voice. "And if you slip up, sister? If you talk to the wrong person?" He watched her expression harden. "I'll take care of myself. But what about you? What's your plan if I'm in trouble?" He smirked, liking her fire. "I don't plan on being the one in trouble. But you're in my world now. It's dangerous." "Then I'll keep my distance," she replied, standing firm. "But trust me, I won't let you down. You need someone who knows how to navigate this." Luca chewed on that for a moment. Her confidence was refreshing, but it also worried him. "You'll have to prove it. If anyone gets hurt because of you, I'll make sure you regret it." She didn't back down. "I'll take that risk. But know this. I won't let you drag me into something I can't handle either. I won't be just a pawn in your game." Luca grinned, appreciating her strength. "You're tough. I like that. But remember, sister, this isn't a fairy tale. There are lines you can't cross." He stepped back, assessing her. "We meet every week. You give me updates. I'll provide protection. But if I sense betrayal, you won't like what happens next." She held his gaze, unflinching. "And if you betray me?" The silence stretched, both of them knowing the stakes. Luca leaned in closer, his voice low. "Then we'll see just how dangerous this game really is." She was about to cross a line. Luca leaned against the bar, arms crossed, watching her closely. "So, sister, what makes you think you won't be a target now?" He raised an eyebrow, pushing her a bit. "You're in deeper than you realize." She didn't flinch, her eyes steady. "I'm not worried about that. I can handle myself." He let out a low chuckle. "You think you're tough? This isn't just about guts, it's about survival." She stepped forward. "Survival is exactly why I'm here." Her determination surprised him. Luca had never seen anyone challenge him like this. "What's your plan then?" he asked, leaning in, testing her resolve. "I'll keep my head down. Gather information," she replied. "I'll be your eyes inside, but I'm not just a pawn." Luca smirked, intrigued by her boldness. "You call the shots? You think you can outsmart me?" He took a slow sip of his whiskey, watching for any sign of weakness. "Not outsmart you, just prove I'm worth your trust." Her voice was firm. "I want respect, not pity. I know my worth." He studied her, his curiosity growing. "Respect is earned, sister. You'll have to show me." She leaned in as if closing the distance would strengthen her point. "Then let's see if you can handle my world, too." Luca stepped back, surprised by her challenge. "You want to play? Fine. Let's see what you can do." He waved his hand, calling over a couple of his guys. "You stay close to me. I'll test you. If you make one mistake, you're out." She nodded, the tension still crackling between them. "I won't let you down." "Good," he said, impressed against his better judgment. "But remember, sister, this game is dangerous. I won't go easy on you." He paused, locking eyes with her. "And don't think I'll hesitate if I sense betrayal." She smiled, a calculated glint in her eyes. I'd expect nothing less. Luca felt the challenge shift in the air. This wasn't over. It was just beginning. He thought he was in control. He wasn't. The gala was buzzing with energy. Luca stood near the entrance, scanning the room. Dressed in a sharp black suit, he blended in perfectly among the elite. His eyes flicked to the stage where an auction was set to begin. He felt a knot in his stomach. This wasn't just another night. He could feel the tension in the air, thick with potential trouble. Sister Clara walked in, looking out of place yet striking. She wore a simple black dress, but it hugged her form elegantly. Luca's brow furrowed. "What are you doing here?" he asked, stepping closer. She smiled, confident and calm. "I told you I'd show you what I can do. I'm here to help." Her voice was steady, but he could see the spark of excitement in her eyes. "Stay close," Luca warned, glancing around. "This isn't a game." She nodded, but her gaze was fixed on a group of men across the room. "I'm not afraid of them," she replied. Luca couldn't help but admire her courage. Just then, a man in a tailored suit approached, a smirk on his face. "Luca, didn't expect to see you here." "Cut the chit-chat, Marco," Luca replied, his tone sharp. "What do you want?" Marco leaned in, his eyes darting toward Clara. "I see you've got a new friend. Just be careful. She's not one of us." Luca felt a flash of anger. "She's with me," he said firmly, stepping in front of Clara. Marco laughed, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Whatever you say." He turned and walked away, leaving behind a sense of unease. Clara spoke up, breaking the tension. "You need to keep your guard up, Luca. He knows something." Luca nodded, his heart racing. "Let's keep moving." They walked deeper into the crowd, the chatter around them rising. An auctioneer took the stage, raising his gavel. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Tonight we have exclusive items up for bid." Clara's eyes lit up. "You know, I can help with this," she said, excitement bubbling in her voice. "What do you mean?" Luca asked, intrigued. "Just watch," she replied, her expression serious now. As the auction began, Clara stepped forward, her presence commanding attention. She raised her hand and called out, "I'll bid!" The room fell silent, everyone staring at her. Luca's heart pounded. This was risky, but as he watched her take charge, he realized this unexpected gesture might change everything. Would it bring them closer to danger, or something more? Luca watched Clara command the room, her energy infectious. But as applause broke out after her bold bid, he noticed something flicker in her eyes, a shadow. It wasn't the confidence she had shown earlier. He stepped closer. "You all right?" he asked, genuine concern creeping into his voice. She turned to him, forcing a smile. "Of course. Just thinking." He wanted to press further, but the crowd was growing. The auctioneer announced another item. Clara backed away slightly, her look distant. Luca felt a pull in his gut. "What's going on?" he asked quietly, his tone low. She hesitated, her eyes searching his face. "It's nothing. Just some memories is all." "Memories," he repeated, curious but cautious. What kind? She glanced around, the crowd drowning out their conversation. When I was young, we lost everything, Clara said, her voice barely a whisper. Luca leaned in closer, urging her to continue. My family, my parents, they didn't believe in my dreams. They thought I was wasting my life. Luca frowned, feeling a connection tightening. What happened? She took a deep breath, looking away. They pushed me out. I was just 17. They thought I was foolish. I had no choice but to leave. The pain was etched on her face, and Luca felt a pang of empathy. I'm sorry, he said softly. Clara shook her head, trying to brush it off. It's in the past. I've moved on. But he could see the vulnerability in her eyes. It still hurts, he pressed gently. She met his gaze, and for a moment, he saw her walls crumbling. Sometimes that loneliness comes back. In places like this, she admitted, her voice breaking slightly. Luca's heart sank. He wanted to reach out to comfort her. But the moment was interrupted as Clara straightened up, forcing a smile once more. Let's get back to it. We have work to do. She turned away, but he could sense the weight on her shoulders. All right, he said, but the concern lingered. Something about her past loomed over them. Would it haunt them when things got rough? Luca scanned the room, his instincts on high alert. The auction was winding down, but tension hung thick. Clara stood beside him, eyes flicking to the crowd. What's wrong? She asked, noticing his furrowed brow. I feel like something's off, he replied, scanning for threats. Just then he spotted Marco again, whispering to a group of shady-looking men. Stay close, he warned, moving slightly in front of Clara. She nodded, but her gaze remained focused on Marco. What's he planning? She murmured. No idea, but I don't like the look of it, Luca replied. The tension heightened as Marco gestured toward them. Luca's muscles tensed. Don't make a move yet, he instructed, keeping his voice low. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the room. A glass shattered nearby, and chaos erupted. People scrambled, screaming, and Clara instinctively grabbed Luca's arm. What's happening? She shouted over the noise. Just stay behind me, Luca barked. He pushed her back, positioning his body to shield her. We need to get out of here, he said, scanning for an escape route. Before they could move, one of Marco's men lunged at Luca. He reacted quickly, grabbing the man's shirt and throwing him into a table. The man hit the ground hard. Clara, go! Luca yelled as he grappled with another attacker. Clara hesitated, but then ducked and weaved through the chaos, searching for a clear exit. She spotted a door and dashed toward it. Luca fought off the remaining attackers, adrenaline pumping. But as he glanced toward Clara, he saw a group closing in on her. Clara! He shouted, fear lacing his voice. She turned, and in that moment, he saw it, her determination. But it wasn't enough. He pushed harder, taking down another man before racing toward her. Get down! He yelled as he reached her side, using his body to shield her from the approaching threat. Breathing heavily, Luca looked into her eyes, full of gratitude and something deeper. You all right? He asked, his heart racing. Clara nodded, but her expression showed she was shaken. I didn't think you'd come for me, she said quietly. You're not just a nun to me, he replied, a sudden shift in his tone. You're part of my team now. They stood together, the chaos still raging around them. But in that moment, everything changed. Would they be able to handle the dangers ahead together? The chaos of the gala faded into the background as Luca and Clara found refuge in a dimly lit corner of the bar. They were both breathing hard, adrenaline still coursing through their veins. Luca leaned against the wall, trying to calm his racing heart. Clara pressed her back against the wall opposite him, her eyes wide with lingering fear. That was insane, she exclaimed, her voice shaky. I didn't think it would get so out of hand. Luca nodded, still on high alert. It's never just fun and games in our world. You need to be ready for anything. Clara took a deep breath, her determination returning. I can handle it. I showed you that tonight. Yeah, you did, Luca said, a hint of admiration in his voice. He crossed his arms, studying her. But this isn't just about bravery. You could have been hurt. She met his gaze, her expression softening. You protected me, Luca. You didn't have to. He shrugged, trying to downplay it. I'd do it for anyone on my team. But I'm not just anyone, Clara said, stepping closer. The tension between them shifted. I didn't expect to feel this connected to you. Luca felt something inside him shift. I know what you mean. There's something real here. He hesitated, searching her eyes. You're more than just a nun hiding in a bar. Clara smiled, but it was tinged with vulnerability. And you're more than just a gangster to me. Luca could feel the air thickening. They were on the edge of something deeper. I didn't want to let you in, but you keep pushing through. She took a breath, her voice low. Maybe that's what I need. Someone to challenge me. Just as he opened his mouth to respond, a sudden noise interrupted them. A group of angry voices echoed from the other side of the bar. Clara flinched, her heart racing again. We should get out of here, Luca said quickly. But before he could grab her hand, their eyes locked again. There was an unspoken understanding, a moment where everything else faded. Luca leaned in slightly, feeling the heat between them. Clara, he murmured, but the moment was cut short as the voices grew closer. Someone was listening in the dark. Luca and Clara locked eyes, the tension thick. He could feel the urgency rising as voices grew closer. We need to go, he said, breaking the moment. Clara nodded, but before they could move, the door swung open. Marco stepped in, a smug grin on his face. Well, look who I found. Luca's heart dropped. What do you want, Marco? He snapped, stepping protectively in front of Clara. Marco's eyes flicked to Clara, lingering too long. Oh, just checking on my favorite nun. Heard she was getting a little too close to the action. Clara stiffened behind Luca, confusion etched on her face. What do you mean? Marco pulled out his phone and held it up. I have something you'll want to see. He pressed a button, and an image popped up. It was Clara, taken from behind the bar earlier in the night. Seems you've got a little secret, sister, he said, a taunting lilt in his voice. Clara gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. Luca felt a surge of anger. You're lying. That doesn't mean anything. Marco chuckled, stepping closer, reveling in the moment. Oh, but it does. You think I wouldn't recognize the sister who's been stirring trouble? He leaned in, looking into Luca's eyes. You're losing control, Luca. This could ruin you. Clara's face paled. What did I do? She whispered, fear creeping into her voice. You didn't do anything, Luca assured her quickly. Marco's just trying to mess with us. Marco smirked. Messing with you? No, I'm just pointing out facts. You let a nun into your world. Now you've got a potential snitch. Luca clenched his fists, struggling to remain calm. You're full of crap, Marco. Clara is with me. But doubt flickered in his mind. What if Marco was right? What if Clara was hiding something after all? Before he could voice his thoughts, Clara took a step forward, determination shining in her eyes. You don't know me, Marco. I'm not a snitch. I'm here to help. Luca's heart raced. He admired her spirit, but he couldn't shake the fear growing inside him. Marco just laughed. Oh, I know plenty. And when this all comes crashing down, you'll be the first to go. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed somewhere in the bar, distracting Marco. What was that? He snapped, turning away. Luca seized the moment. He grabbed Clara's hand. Let's go, now! They bolted past Marco, adrenaline spiking. But as they dashed into the hallway, Luca wondered what else Clara might be hiding. Would their bond survive the truth waiting behind the next door? Luca and Clara dashed down the hallway, their hearts racing. Where are we going? Clara panted, glancing back at the chaos behind them. Out the back! It's safer, Luca replied, leading the way. They pushed through a door and stumbled into a dim alley. The night air hit them like a wave. Luca turned to her, concern etched on his face. Are you okay? Clara nodded, but her eyes were filled with worry. What did Marco mean? She crossed her arms, trying to shield herself from the cold. Luca took a step toward her, frustration bubbling up. It doesn't matter what he thinks. I know you. Clara looked away. But what if he's right? I've been hiding so much. "Clara, stop! This is not the time for doubt," he snapped, his voice sharp. "You're with me, and that means something." Her brows furrowed. "Does it? I'm just some nun you picked up in a bar." Luca took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her words. "You're more than that. You've been a part of this mess. But I can't help you if I'm a liability," she said, her voice cracking. Clara turned away, her hands trembling. "Maybe it's better if I just go back." Luca felt a rush of anger. "You think running away will fix this? You've got to stand your ground." Clara shook her head, tears pooling in her eyes. "I can't be part of your world, Luca. It's dangerous, and I don't know how to handle this." Luca felt his pride crumbling. "You think I want this life?" He stepped closer, but she pulled back. "You don't understand. I'm not cut out for this." "I won't let you walk away," he said fiercely, gripping her arm, but she pulled away, her expression resolute. "Maybe I need to." The silence hung heavy between them. Luca's heart sank. She turned, moving towards the alley exit. "Clara, wait!" he shouted, but she didn't look back. He watched her go, feeling the distance growing. What if this was it? What if they couldn't bounce back? Luca stood in the alley watching Clara walk away. His heart raced, panic threatening to take over. He had to do something. "Clara!" he called again, the urgency in his voice rising. She paused but didn't turn back. He took a step forward, desperation pushing him. "You can't leave! Not like this!" Clara turned halfway, tears glistening in her eyes. "You don't understand. I'm not good for you, Luca. I can't be part of this." Her voice trembled, but Luca felt a fire ignite inside him. "You are part of this, whether you like it or not." He took a deep breath, forcing himself to stay calm. "You showed up tonight, and that means something." He kept his voice low, careful with each word. "Say it straight," he said. "No games." A small silence cut the tension. Her expression softened for a moment. "What does it mean?" she asked quietly. Luca stepped closer, lowering his voice. "It means you're stronger than you think. You stood up to Marco. That took guts." She shook her head. "And look where it got us. I'm scared, Luca. I don't know if I can handle this life." She answered fast, then fell quiet. "I'm not afraid," she replied. "Not tonight." He chose the next words with care. Luca clenched his fists, fighting against the weight of his own fears. He needed to prove it to her. "I'll make things right. I'll fix this." She raised an eyebrow, skepticism clear on her face. "How?" "By taking on Marco. That's dangerous." He nodded, determination in his eyes. "I'll give him what he wants. Power. Wealth. I'll sacrifice it all if it means keeping you safe." He moved first, not giving anyone time to think. He checked the room and kept his back to the wall. She shook her head and took a step closer. Clara blinked, taken aback. She stood her ground, eyes steady. She watched his hands, not his smile. They held eye contact, neither blinked. "You'd really do that?" Luca stepped forward, his voice firm. "I'd do anything. If it means you can stay, I'll step back. I'll give away what I've fought for." Her breath caught. "But why? You could lose everything." He held her gaze. "I would rather lose my power than lose you. I need you here." The silence stretched, full of unspoken weight. Would she believe him? Luca and Clara stood facing each other, tension thick in the air. "You don't have to protect me," Clara said, her voice steady. "I can take care of myself." Luca shook his head. "It's not about that. It's about us." Clara frowned, confusion etched on her face. "What do you mean?" "If I step back, I can't promise I'll keep this life," he replied. "I need you to understand, this isn't just about me. I'm not just some gangster. I care about you." Clara looked away, processing his words. "But what will that cost you? You've worked hard for this." He kept his voice low, careful with each word. "Say it straight," he said. "No games." A small silence cut the tension. "More than I can ever explain," he admitted, "but the cost of losing you is greater. I can't let that happen." He took a step closer, desperately searching her eyes. "You deserve to be free, to be equal in this, not just some girl caught in a storm." Clara's expression softened, but uncertainty still lingered. She answered fast, then fell quiet. "I'm not afraid," she replied. "Not tonight." He chose the next words with care. "I'm scared, Luca. I don't know if I can handle the truth of your world," she said quietly. "What if I can't bear it?" Luca reached for her hand. "Then we face it together. No secrets, no lies, just us." Clara hesitated, her heart racing. What if that's not enough? He moved first, not giving anyone time to think. He checked the room and kept his back to the wall. She shook her head and took a step closer. Luca squeezed her hand, grounding them both. "It will be, I promise. We'll figure it out." Their eyes locked again, the fear slowly giving way to something deeper. Clara bit her lip, taking a breath. "And if I choose to walk away? If I decide this life isn't for me?" She stood her ground, eyes steady. She watched his hands, not his smile. They held eye contact. Neither blinked. "Then I'll support you," Luca said, his voice firm. "But I won't let you go without a fight. You have a choice, Clara. I won't hold you back. Just know, my heart's in this, and it's with you." Clara felt her pulse quicken. So what now? She was about to cross a line. Luca and Clara stood in the alley, the cold air wrapping around them. They had made a choice. "So, what now?" Clara asked, her voice shaky but determined. Luca could feel the weight of her question. "Now we go back inside," he replied, his tone steady. "Back to the bar. We face Marco together." Clara nodded, her expression softening. "Together," she echoed. He squeezed her hand again, grounding them both. As they stepped back into the bar, the chaos had died down. The atmosphere was tense, but it was quieter now. Luca scanned the room, his instincts sharp. "We need to find Marco," he said, his voice low. Clara nodded and followed closely. "What if he tries to use me against you?" she whispered, anxiety creeping in. "He won't," Luca assured her. "I won't let him." They moved through the crowd, determination fueling their steps. They found Marco at the far end of the bar, a drink in hand and a smug look on his face. "Look who decided to come back," he sneered, eyes darting between them. Luca stepped forward, fists clenched. "You think you can scare us? We're done playing games." Clara stood beside him, her presence a silent strength. Marco's smirk faded, replaced by curiosity. "What's this? A united front? Cute, but you won't get far." Clara took a deep breath and spoke up. "I won't be afraid of you anymore, Marco. I'm here for Luca." Luca glanced at her, pride swelling in his chest. "You hear that? She's not backing down." Marco scoffed, trying to regain control. "You think I care about your little love story?" he taunted. "You've made a mistake." But Luca stepped closer, unwavering. "The only mistake was underestimating us." The tension in the air was thick, but Clara stood firm. "We're in this together, Marco. We won't let you manipulate us." Luca could feel Clara's heartbeat. They were a team now. Marco's face darkened, but he didn't respond. Clara turned to Luca, her eyes bright with resolve. "We can make this work, right?" she asked softly. "Together," he replied, a smile breaking through. With Marco cornered, Luca knew they had the upper hand. They had faced fear and found strength. As they walked out of the bar, the night felt different. There was a sense of freedom. "This is just the beginning for us," Luca said, glancing at Clara. "What do we do now?" she asked, hope shining in her eyes. He smiled back. "We build a life together. No secrets." Just as they turned the corner, he added lightly, "So, what's the first thing we should change?" Clara chuckled, the weight lifting. She replied, "Let's start with the drinks." But as they walked away, a small shadow followed them, leaving Luca with an unsettling feeling. He thought he was in control. He wasn't.